है माइक्रोफोन ऑन है।
ऑन कर दो।
स्टार्ट वीडियो।
नहीं क्यों?
Good evening, friends. Thank you for waiting. We should start. Today we will be having the third session of Oo-Tah-Goh-Nah. And on behalf of Team Oo-Tah-Goh-Nah, I invite you all. It's a very special session today as Ruth Anne will be channeling the wisdom from Archangel Metatron. And most of you must have gone through the notes I shared with you. And remember what Ravi ji said in the first session, that probably we have not created ourselves. We are part of very ordinary galaxy, very ordinary planet. So there is the possibility of a higher dimension, higher intelligence, and that's why higher beings. And we can try and experience with open mind and heart what that means for us. And today is that opportunity where Ruth Anne will take us on a journey with Archangel Metatron. The way this session is designed, that at a particular time, Ruth Anne has to do the healing and also has to channel Metatron. So what she did, she recorded her video in advance, and that will be playing. And at the same time, Ruth Anne is with us. She will be sending everyone healing energy through Archangel Metatron. So when we go into that video, I wish and I invite everyone to think that this is a guided meditation and approach that video in that sense. After the video, Ruth Anne will answer your questions. You are free to share what is your experience and what questions you want to ask her. Before we go into the session, let me introduce and talk something about Ruth Anne. I know Ruth Anne for probably some time now. And when I met her first time and I saw her, I felt, wow, such an angelic face, as if the unconditional love is radiating for her. And at that time, I did not know that she channels Archangel Metatron, but we connected very instantly. And I'm so honored that we know each other. Ruth Anne has a background in creative performing arts. She was a dancer. She did her graduation in visual arts. She's a creative movement therapist. And of course, over her journey, she practiced a lot of healing modalities. But currently, with the help of Archangel Metatron, she has bring something special on this planet, which is called as restructuring realities, where healing intentions are condensed to encompass the ideas of the being and the soul of an individual and group, and she connected together. I think Ruth Anne should speak more about that and how she do it. When I had a session with her, I had an immense presence of unconditional love and wisdom. I want you to experience that. As we go forward, I like you to, in that sense, invite you to start with a small meditation. And as we finish this meditation, be in that meditative receptive state. You can still close your eyes when the video is being played. The video is almost 20 minutes long. Okay. After that, we will open session for feedback. So let's go into meditation so that we are prepared to receive the healing from Archangel Metatron via Ruth Anne. I invite you to close your eyes. And make sure your spine is straight. The shoulders are relaxed. Your palms facing up. And focus your attention on third eye. Now come back to breathing. Take 6 conscious breath. Air surrounding us does not just have the oxygen which is required for our nourishment, but have a lot of healing particles. But we need to invite them while we inhale. So let's experiment that. When you inhale, have an intention that you are inhaling unconditional love. And when you exhale, spread that unconditional love throughout your body. Notice how you feel. Make sure your inhale is deep and exhale is slow and long. Now have an intention that we are inhaling particles of wisdom. Feel that as a group, we are breathing together and we are connected in this breath. Even one person understands something in this group, everyone will understand it in same sense. If we keep this connection alive, keep breathing. Open your heart, open your mind to really empirically experience what this session will offer us. In the last session, Clean says, go beyond your judgment and stay in Po. What stay in Po means is that it's neither yes nor no, but the space where you are curious and you feel that I don't know, but I am willing to know. As we slowly enter into the video, the healing and the wisdom will be channeled. Come back to this place inside you. Come back to this curiosity. Come back to this wonder. Come back to this affirmation that I do not know all there is to know. As transmission will progress, at one level, it will be words for your mind, but at another level, the energies will be sent to you, to your heart, respecting your free will. If you're open, really open, lot of traumas, blocks, even from the past life, can get cleared in this session. Keep breathing. Now we will begin playing the video. I invite you to stay in this meditative place. If you feel, you can keep your eyes closed. Namaste.
Greetings and welcome. I so appreciate your being here with me today. I am Ruth Anne Rhine, and I'm joining you to share the perspective of an archangel who cares deeply and truly for the current state of affairs in India. I am a channel for Archangel Metatron and bring through his wisdom and healing in my work. For those who may not know of this angel, I wish to give you a brief overview of who he is. Archangel Metatron has incarnated numerous times upon the earth from its original inception throughout the current day. He has consciously chosen to incarnate during opportune moments on our timeline to uplift and awaken the hearts of humanity. He has been written of in ancient religious texts. You may know him as Thoth, an Egyptian leader. He was Enoch, as written in the ancient Kabbalistic text. He also incarnated as Gautama Buddha. And other historical references could be given here. However, I feel it would be best to use our time in my bringing his message of hope and peace to those who are present with this discussion. For those present, do know that your grief and sorrow and desperation are deeply felt by the angels surrounding you, for you are not alone in your circumstance. Dire loss and suffering are now known to you, as well as numerous other areas around the world. I feel you may benefit from the wisdom of this multi-universal being of light who is of immense power and grace and wishes to be of service to you personally. Years ago, Archangel Metatron suggested we write a book for all heart-centered people to help them navigate the chaos and fear and confusion our world is now experiencing. As I began to channel his discourses, I felt somewhat alarmed in hearing his guidance in preparation for years of dire suffering ahead. I felt he was casting a dark outlook upon our future. However, he explained that what he foresaw was the probability of future events that were likely to unfold based on the current energetic streams moving throughout humanity, along with the transitional shift of consciousness that is accelerating as our mother planet evolves and transforms through her ascension process. I have channeled a message from Archangel Metatron in preparation for our meeting here today. He wishes for us to understand the current transition our Earth is undergoing. And I will now read you this message. And Archangel Metatron tells us, Mother Earth has carried great pain, accumulated from eons of war and aggression and conflictual realities that were never intended for life on this planet originally. Due to dark, all-planet manipulations, humanity was infected with misaligned behaviors so that their vibratory frequencies fell into reactive, emotional confusion. When they experienced fear and doubt and judgment, they no longer resided within their loving hearts of unified respect and harmonious intent. Thus, from that time, this beautiful planet has endured the sorrows enacted upon her being and soul. And so when she could endure no more, she cried out for help and need for her desire to survive in a pristine and wondrous expression once again. Her cries are answered, and at this unprecedented time in the history of the earth, all karmic resolution is underway, so that all that is not aligned with her ascension process into the higher dimensions of being will be healed and released through numerous avenues of expression. Some shall awaken and assist the earth through residing within their inner truth of loving presence. Some shall experience tremendous healing of past traumatized experience through illness or through actual death, as this is also a transformative process. Everyone, everywhere, is embraced by the Creator's love. The Creator, being known by many different names around the world, has ordained that all beings on earth and within the inner planes be released from all present and past lifetime karmic patterns and trauma, so they may ascend with the earth or choose to reside in other star systems where they can continue the experience of conflictual realities should they wish. Everyone, regardless of their choice, is on their way home, home to the heart of the Creator, home to the true essence within each sovereign individual, expressing the one of all that is. Everyone passing from the earth plane is lovingly assisted by divine beings who saturate their entire being with loving sound frequencies to heal and soothe their grief and suffering. And when they have healed and become conscious of their true state of being, free from the entanglement of lower vibrational behavioral systems, they may choose what path of growth best serves them. There is no judgment in this. There is no separation in this, for all shall ascend when they are ready. All exist within the unity of all things, as the one divine essence. And so it is. You see, there are many who are leaving the world to assist the earth from within the inner planes as they can best grow and evolve from within inner dimensions of grace. They are not separate, for they exist in the beauty and perfection of Creator's field of being. Some choose to remain on the earthly plane to help humanity heal from the tremendous trauma and fear prevalent today. Some choose to incarnate here again in a new form to further uplift the hearts and minds of all. All the choices are good ones, and no one is punished nor abandoned for wrongs committed due to their misaligned behaviors. All is forgiven, and all is well for everyone as they go through this transformative process. Within the inner planes, there are the breaking of hearts for all the world's sorrow. We wish for it not to be so. We divine beings wish for all to live in peace and joy and loving acceptance of everyone and everything, as was originally intended for all life forms upon the earth. We are saddened by the tremendous terror and rage and torment of the many. We wish for you all to understand that the process of dissolving all traumatized perception and conflictual behavior is through the experiences underway. To accept the suffering as the unfoldment of greater awareness through crisis and turmoil is a means to align more fully, more completely with the truth, the one truth in being. All indoctrination of judgment, fear, control, and conflictual programming, perpetuating war and retaliation and illness, cause this loss of self, loss of true self. And so many find their way back to their inner truth through suffering what is not aligned with the love of the Creator. Some who suffer not for themselves, but have taken on a planetary burden to dissolve karma created by past lifetime misdeeds. They feel strong and devoted to serving others, and so take on the experiences of pain and illness to resolve karma for those they so care for. Animals also assist humanity in this way. Not everyone must suffer to grow and to evolve, of course. It is possible, even desirable, to live in peace and harmonious love for one another now, in the midst of this global discord. It is possible to live in joy as well, in the knowing that this process of unraveling all that is born of elusive constructs is reaching completion. And upon the horizon is the light of the new day where all live in peace and mutual respect for the sovereign rights of all. When is this new day, you wonder? When will the suffering end and the peace and health exist for all forms of life? It shall come to pass when everyone chooses, through their free will choice, to exist within their inner truth. This truth is the love and light of the Creator, which is manifest in all things. And so it is a gift to each unique soul aspect to have free will choice as to when and where they will align once again with the divine flow of love within their hearts. Now is a time to bear the sorrows of the world, not through grief, but through love and acceptance of the free will choice of everyone to experience what will best serve their growth and evolvement, so they may become liberated from conflictual suffering. By and by, all shall be free, and this is to be determined by each individual through their own volition. Dear ones, now is the time to hold space for the new paradigm of love and peace and joy, so that more gravitate and awaken to this way of being. Do be in joy. Do be in love. Do trust that all is well. In accepting that everything is unfolding perfectly in this process of ascension, we of the inner planes wish to encourage you to send your healing love out into the world, to friends and family that surround you, and into the world at large, so that those who are on the verge of awakening are assisted, so that those who are in need of comfort and help receive your compassion, your care, through whatever means you are capable of. This help shall move mountains, my dear friends. Your love shall light the way for those seeking healing and direction, opening their hearts more and more to grace. The divine frequencies of grace are designed to heal specific causes and concerns you ask assistance for. And so, dear ones, do call upon us often. The angels, the masters, the goddesses, the gods, the star beings of light, and all divine beings, for we shall then have permission, through your free will choice, to help in ways beyond your comprehension. We are here for you, helping in all possible ways, and by, all shall be well. Dear ones, trust, and it is so, and so it is. Dear ones, you need not fear for your loved ones who have passed, for they are lovingly being cared for and shall ascend should they so choose. They have passed from a planetary upheaval of illness and, in some instances, violent behaviors. All are lovingly received into heaven so that they may heal and be released from all suffering incurred during their earthly lifetimes. Their road ahead shall be easier, and also they shall receive much assurance that they are always within Creator's loving embrace. For where else could they be? You have endured much loss and sorrow and grief, and now I, Archangel Metatron, do hereby grant complete and total healing of your hearts and minds, so you may move forward in your lives to exist in peace and acceptance of all that has come to pass. Those loved ones no longer residing within your earthly presence reside within your hearts forevermore. And when you become aware that all sensations of separation are illusion, you shall be reunited with your beloved friends and family, for they are not gone. They are existing and continuing their journey into the heart of Creator's loving embrace. Your life experience of being close to your loved ones does not end through death. Death is the illusion that there is separation, never again to experience interaction with one another, and this is not so. Your loved ones are forever connected to your heart and soul, regardless of where you are, regardless of where they choose to journey next. For you see, those born of deep connectivity shall continue to remain within your orbital experience in being. And what I mean in saying this is that those who you have shared much enjoyment from, being alongside your evolutionary process, shall continue to be within your personal experience, existing within and without the inner planes. You may not see them, nor you may not hear them. However, once loving connections are established, they continue. And when you trust that you have not lost, yet gained a companion who shall journey alongside you as you interweave your experiences throughout the inner and outer planes, Then you shall know peace. At times you reside together, and at times you may feel apart as you grow and deepen in your conscious awareness. However, do know that you are never apart, for you are moving through energetic streams of love to bring you into conscious presence together again and again and again. Many beings incarnate with their loved ones repeatedly through their desire to not only resolve past differences, yet also to enjoy their dear ones at their side. It is true we are all one, and yet it is also true we form relationships that endure beyond time and space. And so, should you feel lost and forlorn from separation of a loved one, do take heart in the knowing that you can never be apart, for your love forever exists between you. You may again and again directly experience your family and friends as you journey onward in your path of heart awakening. You shall never be alone, for they are with you. And you may even speak with them. Regardless of your hearing their response, they do indeed hear you. Some beings know they can speak to those within the inner planes while existing in the outer planes on earth, and they realize there is no separation in being. It is all right to grieve and cry and feel deep sorrow, for your love is what creates the sadness and yearning to be in their presence again. It is all right to take time to express your sorrow and grief in honoring how meaningful and beautiful your loved one is. In time, your heart shall heal, and you shall take heart in knowing there is no separation between you and them, for you are forever intertwined within their loving experience in being. All are journeying onward through this time of turmoil, through this time of release of past suffering. And so do know you cannot fail nor fall from grace. You, dear ones, are this grace, and this grace is your love, undying and eternal. And so it is. Dear ones, for now I say to you all, do know that you may take refuge in the understandings given here, so that you know you are forevermore on a path of salvation and liberation, joining those who have ascended before you and those who come after. All is one. Fear not the tides of change. Fear not the dire pain and suffering so prevalent currently around you. Do know that all is transforming and transitioning rapidly into an accelerated pace of ascension for everyone, regardless of their personal experience. You, we, are all choosing our path to freedom, where we exist forevermore in loving grace. Do hear these words. Do know their truth. You are loved beyond your knowing. You are loved now as always, as you journey more deeply into your inner truth and being. All shall be well. All is well, my dear ones. All is well. Namaste.
Take few conscious breaths. Let this healing sink deep inside us. I know few of you want to share their experience and ask a question. But when you do so, try to connect your mind and heart. Ruth Anne is here and she will take your questions. Thank you.
I am really so honored to be here with you all. I'm really grateful and happy to meet you. I'd like to tell you that Archangel Metatron is here with us with his teams of healing angels who are sending immense grace throughout your beings to the extent that you allow. And so anyone who has any questions about anything in the discourse or about channeling, I'm open to responding.
Jaidev, you want to say your question?
Let's see. There's a question here. Why does this feel like vendetta?
Vedanta.
Even, yes, I'm not familiar with who that is. And also I'm not familiar with the word syncretism. I'm not familiar with that word. So if you could give me an idea of what is being asked here.
I mean, sure. It was just it just came to my mind. It's not really a question, and it doesn't take away or add anything to the talk. So I guess I'll just let it fly.
All right. Thank you. Well, Amit, should I talk a little bit about the transmission we just received, or should I discuss channeling? What do you think people would be interested in hearing?
Yeah, well, we can start with the message, and so we have a question from Archana. Archana, you can unmute yourself and ask. Please go ahead.
Hi, Ruth Anne. Thank you so much for the guided meditation. It was lovely. My question is basically about knowing free will. How do we differentiate what free will is and what is written in our destiny?
I'm sorry, what is
free will?
Free will, yes, that's an interesting question because it's different. People have different perspectives on that. Free will is we are allowed the choice to live the lives in the way we choose. And we are influenced by a lot of confusion, a lot of conflictual behaviors around us. And so that can hinder our perception of our true reality, of our inner truth, of being aligned with our hearts. So we have the choice, the free will choice to heal ourselves and to regain our clarity of our inner truth and being, so that we are not plagued by thoughts, words, and deeds that are of a lower vibrational nature, such as anger and fear and aggression. And when we throw off these attitudes, these beliefs, these emotions, and allow ourselves to breathe and to be aligned with our heart, when we make that choice, then we can exist in greater peace and more love as we evolve and grow more and more, healing ourselves, letting go more and more of the entanglement that we experience in being in this world of great misaligned behavioral systems. There was a time before, I guess you could call it a fall from grace, where this planet was a sphere of light initially that was designed to inhabit this particular place in the solar system as a way station to provide a place of solace and rest for star beings, divine beings to really just take a rest, rejuvenate, and exist in the bliss of this sphere of light. And so over time, star beings came more and more, bringing templates and used the space as a place to create life forms, plants, and eventually animals. And it was a very harmonious, beautiful existence where everyone was aligned with the truth of who they are. And then there was a time, thousands and thousands of years ago, and I've written a history channeled from Archangel Metatron of the Earth from its original inception to the current day. And there was a time when there was off-planetary conflict, where two warring nations wanted control and possession of the Earth's resources. And there were manipulations for the beings living there at this time. And they kind of became infected with, dark intent, which they had not experienced before. I feel like there was some naivete there, that they weren't aware that this could even be possible. And so they were introduced to technologies where before they relied basically on thought manifestation. And they were introduced to lower vibrational emotions and intent. And so there was a great disruptive event on the planet, which basically sunk Atlantis and Lemuria and outer line regions. And so that was a disaster. And the repercussions of this are still rolling throughout this day. It created tremendous trauma and karmic patterns that people have carried with them lifetime after lifetime. Some of the people foresaw this disaster coming and they migrated to different places on the globe. And I do have a written discourse on my Facebook site about this whole story as it unfolds. So they tried to restore, say, for example, in Egypt, they tried to restore the culture and the alignment of existing in harmony, but there were no boundaries for this dark influence. And eventually they became infiltrated again in their communities. The last sovereign spot was in Tibet. And so now all of these beings like us are all over the world, working from wherever we're working to send our light and our presence out into the world. And we've done so for many lifetimes. So the repercussions of this fall from grace, where the frequencies of the people fell into lower vibrations of confusion and emotional reactivity, are still playing out. And the wonderful news is that the Creator sees that the earth is ascending. She cannot bear this grief and this trauma any longer. And she must ascend. She must ask to ascend. And she would love to take everyone with her, and either within the inner planes or the outer planes, for she's a dimensional being of light. And so we can assist her and assist everyone by sending our light out every day to areas where we hear of suffering or need, whether it's personal, whether it's on the other side of the world, and ask for assistance from the divine beings because they can greatly empower our intentions. And like Archangel Metatron says, this can move mountains. So the good news is, though, is that getting back to this, is that the Creator sees that there have been lifetime and lifetime after lifetime of karmic loop patterns that people are caught in and can't seem to break free of. And these are being now completely healed and released, erased like a clean slate. So in moving forward in our journey of evolution, we will not be carrying this karmic burden with us. For those who pass, who wish to continue to experience conflictual realities, dual realities, they will have that choice. However, it will be much easier for them because they won't have this reoccurring karmic pattern in their lives. It will be easier to have clarity and free will choice in moving forward. Everyone who passes is receiving tremendous healing. And I know this because I work with Archangel Metatron. It's really beautiful. They are surrounded by angels who send these sound frequencies through their being so that they can heal and let go of all their pain and earthly entanglement. And they have the choice to ascend with the earth and completely become liberated. Archangel Metatron tells me everyone has this opportunity now. And this is unprecedented on this planet. So as the earth ascends, her gift to us is to release us from all of this prior drama and karma. And we have free will choice to determine where we navigate next. And it's also possible to become liberated while we're living here on the earth by residing in our hearts, residing in peace, which sounds so simple and easy. And yet what that entails is healing ourselves of our traumas and our indoctrinated beliefs that limit our perception of a true reality, of our inner truth in being that connects us all into the oneness of all that is. I hope that
Thank you so much.
answers your
Yes, that's
question.
lovely. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Archana. Vinod, you're next.
Namaste, Ruth. Thanks a lot for this wonderful channel. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Okay. I'm actually moving to a question which is much more in nature of personal rather than what we were talking about. It's not an earth scale, it's on an individual level. During the channeling, we spoke about people who actually passed on during this phase. And for those people who are left, especially those people who I believe a lot of people here would have actually experienced something similar. So I hope that question kind of also represents that question as well. So most of us would have lost someone during this phase, someone nearby. And while as spiritual beings, we understand that you can't control what happened because it already happened to you. The thoughts of what if keeps coming back. What if you could have done this? What if you could have done that? What if other person could have done it? Could it have been better? So you end up going to, you could say, a series of illusions where you could, you wonder whether something could have been done better or not. Although we understand that, okay, all things unfold perfectly, you always tend to go back to this kind of illusionary phase where you kind of keep questioning yourself on what if it could have been slightly better, or have we done the best we can to help that person when that person was around. If you would like to shed any light on that. Thanks.
All right, I caught some of what you said. For some reason, there's some interference in the audio on my end, so I'm sorry. Ahmet, could you kind of?
Yes. So
I can hear you.
yeah, Vinod, correct me if I brief you incompletely or wrong. But what Vinod was saying, that we know somewhere that this cosmic Leela Maya is going on, and we know the loved ones who are passed on, and they have a journey, and everything is unfolding perfectly in some sense. But we still have this feeling inside us where many times we feel that if something could have done better, the situation, the result would have been different. We have this lingering feeling ki, what if that person has did a different choice, he would be still alive. Or we have probably called him and said, don't do this or don't do that, the situation would have been better. So we always have this lingering feeling that we could have altered the outcome. So on a one side, we say that there is a plan and everything is going as per the design. And other side, we have this feeling that we could have changed the outcomes. So how we can fuse this is probably the question. Did I got it?
Yeah, I think Amit, I think you put it much better in much better words. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry about the audio there. Okay, so this is an interesting question because there is free will choice, and every moment we make a choice as to what we focus our attention on. So yes, there could be different outcomes depending on the choices we've made. We're also influenced by past choices that have created our perception of reality. I'd like to ask Archangel Metatron to comment on this. So I'm going to bring him through if that's all right. Dear one, it is not an easy question to answer in that free will choice determines the outcome of everyone's experience in living on this planet and elsewhere. Free will choice is designed so that each individual may choose to align with the truth within themselves. Once this was always so. There was no illusion. There was complete and total connectivity to everything and everyone beyond all the earthly dimensions into the higher dimensions. There was no separation. Now you see, there has been a loss of this connectivity among humanity for many. And so the choices they make are sometimes based on elusive constructs that do not align with their inner truth. To become liberated and to become free is to consciously choose your alignment with your inner truth. And this inner truth is the divine flow of love and light that actually is throughout the universe and throughout every being manifest through every form in existence, not only in this universe, but in multi-universes. And so the gift to everyone is their free will choice. And when they choose to become free of the burdens of dark encroachment upon the collective mind of humanity, they may once again align with their inner truth. Every choice that is made takes one down a different pathway from the time of their birth throughout their entire life. And yes, having made a different choice at certain points could dramatically change their experience in living. And so do know that the idea that everything is unfolding perfectly is aligned with the free will choice of everyone. For you, dear ones, are creating your reality. You are creating your experience through the choices you make. And now at this time, at this very important juncture in the history of the earth, much karmic resolution is being resolved and played out from choices made not only in this lifetime, but in past lifetimes. And it does not look like things are perfect. And it does not look like things are well when you look at the external appearance of things. However, the healing and the transformation of this planetary shift of consciousness is taking place, and it is accelerating rapidly. And so it appears as in the external world as more and more drama. What is unfolding perfectly is the playing out and healing of karmic patterns and traumas that have been incurred through free will choice. And through the free will choice that may incur suffering, this is a means to bring one back to their inner truth and find what is aligned and what is healing and what is loving. It does not look as though everything is unfolding perfectly. However, I assure you it is, and that tremendous grace is surrounding your planet. And to the extent humanity is open to receiving this healing grace, the acceleration of the ascension process, that is the path of liberation, is occurring so that the suffering is resolved and people can at long last achieve liberation should they so choose. Is this answer what is on your mind, dear one?
Yes, to an extent. Thanks a lot.
Is there anything else that's unclear?
No, I think it's fine. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Vinod, for asking that, because a lot of people which may have that question, and it is important that you brought it up. Thank you so much. Joe have a question. Joe is, can you go on audio and ask your question, Joe? So then the question he asked, or she asked, I don't know, do we meet our loved ones who we have lost in this time?
Yes, and I think, Ahmed, were you going to post the discourse, the PDF file?
Yes.
Yeah, you'll find answers to that. You might want to read that again. There's a lot of content there. But yes, absolutely. A lot of people that I have met in this lifetime, I've had past lifetimes with. There is like my sister in this lifetime was my mother in another lifetime, and my sister in that lifetime was my mother in this lifetime. When you bond through experience and share evolutionary growth and karmic experience with one another, there is a tendency to come back again and again to resolve that karma, and also to enjoy being with that being again. So sometimes we're on the inner planes, the outer planes, but there's an interweaving of these relationships that come and go. And I can tell you that my parents who have passed do come to me and communicate just on occasion when there's something they feel is important for me to know. And so through their passing, my relationship with them deepened, and their understanding of who I am and what my work is about was much clearer to them. And they have chosen from the time of their passing what course they would take. Everyone chooses what would best serve their evolvement and development. And yes, you do see them again and again, and you can connect with them. Those who have gone beyond, that connection's still there. You can speak to them, and they do hear you. And it's all right if you don't hear them. You can just trust that that connection is there and it's ongoing, and that you will forever have this bond with them. Archangel Metatron did say that although somebody's not existing on the earthly plane anymore, that the relationship of love goes beyond that dimension, because in reality, that any separation between dimensions is illusion. And it's possible by some to see beyond that. They can see into the inner dimensions. They can communicate their clairaudient, clairvoyant, their mediums. They can communicate in the dimensions beyond. And so that is a reality. And it's all right if you do not experience that. You're here to enjoy living in the beauty of this world and to exist within your loving heart. And that is the purpose of everyone in being, and healing ourselves and not allowing indoctrinated beliefs and limiting thoughts to hinder the true perception of reality of why we are here. And when we see suffering out in the world, those who are experiencing this karmic playoff are sometimes doing it on behalf of humanity, taking on karma for others. Sometimes they're quickly resolving their own karma so they can move on with clarity. So Archangel Metatron wants to assure everyone that their loved ones who have passed are connected to them and are continuing to grow and evolve. And yes, you will encounter them again and again.
Thank you, Ruth Anne. I think we are running out of time, so we have a time for one more question. And Sri
Sure.
Lakshmi asked that question, and so in the bigger sense, what is a channeling? We have a lot of misconceptions on channeling. So are there dangers in the practice of channeling by unqualified, untrained people? And I'll just add to that my question: how do we know that someone is truly channeling?
That's a very good question, because it's a very mixed bag. I know of a channel who is such a pure, clear channel, and she was a young ballerina, and it just all this information started coming through, and she's spent the last decade channeling and writing books, and she just was a natural channel. And channeling is not something special or extraordinary or unusual. It is natural, and it's something that everyone used to do before this disruptive event that happened thousands of years ago. Everyone used to speak with angels, and that was normal, and it's normal now also. So it's not difficult to channel in a sense. And yet, because of our self-doubt, or because of being open to the collective mind, other energies, other information can come through. So you want to refine your channel. And I just want to mention one woman that who's a friend who never channeled, was not really necessarily spiritual, had an epiphany when she was sitting in a Catholic church in Europe on a vacation. An angel appeared before her, and then she just opened up and started channeling very, very clearly and connecting with these people, and she could see them too. I don't mean people, I mean divine beings. And so there are these instances where people just open up and they naturally channel. They're naturally attuned to very high, very vibrational dimensions in being. There are some people who just focus on kind of like the astral realm and tune into that, and they can channel. They're open to channeling people in the astral realm, and they can be very helpful. However, for myself, when I first started channeling, I thought, well, and this is just a quick story. A friend of mine had lost her car keys, and she said, I'm going to ask my guides to help me find the car keys. And they led her to her car keys. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. I don't know how to do that. I don't think I could do that. And so a couple days later, I was out walking my dog, and I was walking across fields and streams and neighborhoods all over the place. And I got back to my car, and the car keys that had been in my pocket had fallen through a hole, and they were gone. So these car keys had a little heart keychain on it that my daughter had given me. And I thought, well, I'm not going to find them. There's just no way. But I thought, well, this would be a good opportunity to see if, I can ask my guides to help me find them, because I would like to have that little heart keychain back. So I closed my eyes and I got the image of a particular field that I had walked through. So I went back to that field that was knee deep in grass, and there was no path that I could follow where I may have walked before. And I thought, oh, this is not going to happen. I'm not going to find these keys. And I heard a voice say, keep walking, keep walking. And I saw in my mind a direction to take. And so I was walking slowly, looking, and several times I thought about turning around and giving up, but the voice kept saying, you're almost there. Keep going. And I took one step and looked down, and there were the keys. I saw the heart shining up, reflecting the light, and I found the keys. And then I thought, okay, this is really happening. This is for real. You can do this. So after that, I decided to sit down at my keyboard and start typing, channeling, because I'd heard of people just kind of start typing. And so I didn't have any idea really of what was going to happen or any intent. I just asked that a divine being come through. I wanted to attune to a divine being. So the first being who came through for me was Thuth, who I did not know who that was at the time. I thought, who's Thuth? I know who Mother Mary is or Buddha, so Thuth turned out, of course, to be an incarnation of Archangel Metatron, and also a past lifetime where I shared incarnation with him in ancient Egypt. So as I developed healing modalities, first with using muscle testing and magnets and different things to clear and heal people, it got to where the answers were coming to me without those techniques. And then after accumulating various healing modalities that I would draw on for whatever the particular needs were of a person, I started bringing in new information, and it kept coming in, and I had lists and lists of things to clear and to look into. And I finally asked where it was coming from, and it was Archangel Metatron, and that was Restructuring Realities. So after working a while within this modality, he just started coming through and directly channeling what that person needed. So I no longer have to consult these lists. I just let Archangel Metatron know what the concern is or what the question is, what's being asked to heal. And then I just channel him directly, because he can look through the dimensions of that being, clear them throughout those dimensions completely and comprehensively, to the extent the person is open to let go of whatever is hindering them. And he is able to look throughout their timeline and see events and traumas and this sort of thing, not just their current timeline, but past timelines, and send healing throughout their energetic fields. So that's how channeling happened for me. And I also channel for animals. I love channeling for animals. A lot of times animals have had past lifetimes as people or other creatures, and they choose various incarnations because they want that experience of that perspective. So we're all here to experience mutual respect of the sovereign rights of everyone in experiencing life here. So to get back to the question, are there dangers in the practice of channeling by unqualified or untrained people? I would say yes, possibly, because there can be interference in channeling. When as I was refining my channel, I would notice that, I'd be following a stream of line of thought of information coming through. And my ego would kind of come in sideways with the assumption that I knew what this was about, and it would interfere with a clear transmission. So I spent a couple years clearing obstructions and obstacles, anything that would hinder the clarity of what I receive. And for me, it was an effort to, but it was also in the process a means of healing myself. So refining my channel did not come instantaneously the way it can some. Some people just like, it's natural, it's easy, they're attuned. I would suggest attuning and asking for divine support and attuning to a divine being to channel who is aligned with your purpose. To just open up to everything can be overwhelming, and you don't know who's coming in. And it's possible to have interference from those who are not truthful, who exist on the inner realms. So you just want to attune and trust that you are connecting with a divine being. You can request anyone you want, or in general, someone who is of a very high vibration of Christed awareness. And that protects you and keeps you attuned. And just practicing channeling. Now, it's not for everyone. Some people, for example, my son's a musician and he channels music, and as all musicians do, and singers and dancers and scientists, and all throughout all creative acts of caring for children, teaching. Channeling comes through for everyone every day, whether they realize it or not, because when they are centered in their heart, and coming from a place of caring, the right words come, the right thoughts come, the right actions take place. That is channeling. And so you're doing that without having to have a conscious focus on bringing in your inner truth. By simply being in your heart, you are expressing your inner truth. And that is, you could say, channeling.
Wow, Ruth Anne, thank you so much for going in so detail about what channeling is and how we should look up to it. While you were explaining, I had this thought that, is the channeling healing through a channeling is the most fast way to heal ourselves?
It is, for me, yes, it's very healing, because in order to become very clear, I had to heal myself. And I'm still evolving. I'm still in my process. However, I'm at a point where I know how to totally focus. I usually meditate and get very clear before I open to channel for a healing session.
Mhm.
And, I have a certain process I go through to prepare myself for channeling. So it's not that way for everyone. Some people just click into it. I just feel a tremendous responsibility and want to be assured that I am as clear as I can possibly be. So yes, for me, it has been a healing journey. However, if you are, say, like you play the guitar and sing, that can be a journey of channeling that's healing. Any artistic endeavor, any creative endeavor, loving your children, being creative about how to help them to grow and to nurture them. This can be a channeling experience that is enriching to you also. So it doesn't have to be like channeling a divine being the way I have chosen to direct a lot of energy to. It's just connecting with your inner truth and being creative from that place. And that's healing for anyone and everyone who does that, which would be everyone, when they are aligned and in their heart. So that's my answer.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So I think
Thank
this
you for having me. I really appreciate it. And I encourage everyone to send their light out every day to areas of need, people in need, and ask for divine assistance, because this indeed does move mountains. and helps in immense ways beyond our knowing.
Thank you, Ruth, and thank you so much for coming. I know it's almost 5:30 a.m. for you, and you have to
Yes,
wake
very
up at
early for
3
me. But that's fine. It's all right. I did actually get some rest, so I'm all right.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you.
very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth Anne. Thanks a lot.
You are very welcome. My pleasure. So wonderful to meet you all. And I do feel that Archangel Metatron is present with all of you.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you a lot.
Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you. Much gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's my joy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You are so welcome.